What's up, brownies? Now, I can't be the only one who is absolutely fed up with being involuntarily inundated with Blueface and all of his family drama. But all of these recent scandals attached to him and his fatherhood really has brought home the point to me that whereas black women and single motherhood is blamed for all of the troubles of the black community, black men and deadbeat adjacent fathers are really given a pass, or people make excuses for them. And I'm going to drive this point home by using the cast of TGIF to illustrate some of the talking points that they have on the subject of black fatherhood and how it really echoes the sentiments of a lot of people, but really pointing out where we get this wrong in hopes that we will stop making excuses for people like this and rather start elevating the great examples of black fatherhood and manhood and make them the standard. Let's get started.
Should Blueface be investigated for his parenting? What do y'all think about this? Al?
I never would want to see those two kids taken away from him and his girlfriend who lived together, because they seem to, with all their misjudgment, do exercise a great deal of good judgment and having their kids with them at all times.
I don't think he has good judgment. You see the video where he was like, the little kids in the pantry with that struggle pantry with no food in there. And he's like, boy, what you doing in here? The kid's looking for food. He's like, there's booty cheeks in the other room. I was like,
Casual day. Casual day with Jay Nasty. Son, come here. There's booty cheeks out here. You in here looking for chips and Slim Jims and shit. You ain't gay, is you? Huh? Are you gay? You ain't gay, right? My man, my dog, my young.
We can say a lot about his judgment as far as what he does and whether he has food, but he is with his kids. We know a lot of young black men that have young kids, don't even see him, don't even have the girlfriend or fiance in the house with them. So at least we see him around his kids actively, holding them, playing with them, and hopefully one day teaching them something positive.
I think it might be, with his ass, it might be better if he was absentee, quiet as a cat.
So I'm going to tend to agree with Q on this one. Just having a man present, even if it's a biological father, is not always a good thing, especially if they set a piss poor example and they are poisoning a child's mind. You would have your child rather starve than to miss out on the half naked ladies that you have dancing, because if he's trying to get food out of a pantry versus trying to watch the naked girls, then you think that that means that he's gay. You're questioning somebody who doesn't even understand what that means, whether or not he's gay. Just like you're poisoning his mind against his own kind and his own aesthetic and encouraging erasure when you tell him things like, make sure you get you a Spanish girl because they know how to clean up. You understand what I'm saying? Reducing women down to defining their worth by unpaid labor. And then you have the latest scandal, which is you publishing photographs of your newest baby's genitals in an effort to question the parenting decisions and to shame the newest mother of your newest baby. And you all give him a pass for that. Can you imagine a black woman having male strippers in the house and dragging her little girls out to watch the male strippers in order to make sure that their daughters are not going to be gay? They would crucify a black woman for that. Why are you all making excuses for this man's behavior? But I have more examples. Let's keep moving on.
Al that asked, why doesn't that person love me? Well, what are your thoughts on this mess? And a side note, Alessandra alleged that Matthew owes her child support, which led to her moving into a trailer before being taken in by actress Shar Jackson. This is a mess.
But a lot of us come from families that have illegitimate kids, a part of our family structure. And Beyonce and Solange, that is your brother. I don't care if it broke up you and your parents' relationship. I don't care. It's not the kid's fault that he is your father's son. He didn't have anything to do with that entanglement, but that's your blood brother. But I think you have a responsibility to at least know your brother, and your brother has a right to know the two of you.
Once again, the topic should be the fact that Matthew Knowles created 2 children via extramarital affairs and he owes child support to his son. That's it. That's all. It is not the responsibility of his wealthy and famous daughter or daughters, even though this son, according to his attention whoring mom, seems to only be worried about the richest and most famous one. And then I also found it peculiar that he's not trying to get to know the other child that was born of an extramarital affair. So what we know is this is just really the mother trying to garner sympathy and attention for a situation that she created. But also, by law, Matthew needs to be paying child support. And also, a court system should not have to tell you that you need to provide for your children financially and also be a part of their lives physically and emotionally present. You understand what I'm saying? But the comments were about everything except for that in a lot of situations. Let's move on. I have more examples.
But I got to tell you this, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of pushback on this. I stand with what he says. You can't tell a man how to feel about his morals and his thoughts for a family that he is building and trying to protect. However, addressing it on social media to me was clearly what he learned is not the most appropriate thing. And the last thing is, listen, young man, if you're going to start telling her what to wear, then you need to put a ring on it.
I'm finna trash our whole argument in 2.3 seconds. Prior to this video, he posted a video of Kiki in a cat suit and she was clapping something to the effect of baby weight looks good on her. That baby weight got that body doing something. Those were his comments. This is 100% his ego being bruised. This is 100% he feels threatened by guys who are more successful than him.
There's actually so much going on in this particular clip that I don't even know where to get started, except for maybe to say that a man who does not do any of the protecting or providing also on top of that wants husband privileges and you're not a husband. And then to further exacerbate the situation, you men actually think that if you are a husband, then that gives you the right to tell a woman what she can and cannot wear and do and go and so forth and so on. That's not what leadership is. That's control. But how do you even begin to control a woman when your primary source of income is actually the child support that you'd be getting from that baby should you all separate? And see, this is what women were actually talking about with the whole Tyler Perry light bill discussion. The biggest problem with that situation is that a man's ego cannot handle it. But we'll talk about that in part 2. When we discuss what actually started this entire conversation for me, which was when D. Wade got up to do his acceptance speech and he thanked his father, and Al Reynolds interpreted that as proof that fatherlessness in the Black community is actually just a myth because D. Wade had a great dad that was active in his life. Not only am I going to destroy that, but we're going to talk about why this is not a myth and how incredibly problematic it is for him to even say so. Please stay tuned for part 2.